Stop scrolling for just a moment, because what I'm about to tell you could be the biggest financial surprise of this holiday season. It's now official, and the announcement caught millions off guard. A Christmas stimulus update connected to former President Donald Trump is making waves, and the big question everyone is asking is, am I on the list for the $2,000 payout? In the last 24 hours, new details have surfaced that completely change what many Americans thought they knew about this holiday relief plan. Whether you're a worker trying to catch up on bills, a parent preparing for holiday expenses, or a senior hoping for extra support, this update could directly impact you. And the most important part? Eligibility rules may not be what you think. We're talking about potential fast-tracked payments, new qualification categories, and a timeline that's much sooner than anyone expected. If you've heard rumors online or seen confusing posts on social media, this video will cut through all the noise and give you exactly what's real, what's confirmed, and what you need to do right now to know whether your name could be on that list. So before we break down who qualifies, how the payments might roll out, and what this means for you heading into Christmas, do me one quick favor. Hit that like button so more people can get this crucial update in time. All right, let's dive right in. Because the moment this story hit social media, the internet practically exploded with questions, confusion, and a whole lot of people hoping this could be the financial break they've been waiting for. If you've seen posts claiming that a brand new Christmas stimulus tied to former President Donald Trump is official, you're not alone. Videos, screenshots, and even fake documents have been circulating everywhere, and for millions of Americans who are dealing with holiday expenses, it's no surprise that this topic caught fire almost instantly. But here in this video, what we're going to do is something the internet rarely does. We're going to break everything down calmly, clearly, and based on what's actually confirmed, so you know what's real, what's rumor, and what it all means for you and your family. From the moment these claims started spreading, the biggest point of confusion was simple. Where did this talk of a $2,000 Christmas stimulus come from, and why did so many people think it was officially announced? As we started digging into this, it became clear that the story didn't appear out of nowhere. It actually traces back to a combination of older proposals, recent political comments, and a whole lot of viral speculation that blurred the line between what was discussed years ago and what's happening today. Many people remember that during the final stretch of 2020, Trump did call for a $2,000 stimulus, a number that was larger than what Congress approved at the time. And ever since then, every holiday season seems to bring a fresh wave of posts claiming the checks are finally happening. The problem is that these claims often go viral before anyone verifies them, leaving millions unsure of what to believe. So as we unpack this, the first thing we need to understand is where the official label is coming from. Some posts point to comments made during interviews, others point to campaign-style statements, and others are simply attaching the word official to get clicks. But none of these posts provide the one thing that truly matters: documentation from a verified government source confirming that a new federal stimulus is scheduled for Christmas. And here's the important part. You shouldn't feel bad if you weren't sure what was real. The way these posts are written, the way the thumbnails are designed, and even the way the headlines are structured, are all meant to make viewers believe a major government decision just happened and they're about to miss out if they don't act fast. Now, just because something isn't officially confirmed doesn't mean there's nothing to talk about. In fact, what makes this topic so interesting is that it reflects just how much Americans are still hoping, years later, for some kind of financial relief. Inflation has put pressure on nearly every household. Groceries are higher, utilities are higher, rent is higher, and the holiday season only adds to the stress. So when people hear $2,000 Christmas stimulus, it instantly grabs their attention. The question becomes, why does this message resonate so strongly, and is there any scenario where something like this could actually happen in the future? To answer that, we need to look at the current political and economic landscape. On one hand, Congress is not actively debating a new federal stimulus package at this moment. Not one tied to Christmas, not one tied to Trump, and not one with a fixed amount like $2,000. On the other hand, some states have continued issuing their own relief programs, tax rebates, or cost of living adjustments, which are sometimes mistaken for federal stimulus checks. This adds another layer of confusion, because people browsing online might see an article about a $2,500 state rebate for residents of one state, then immediately see a TikTok claiming a nationwide $2,000 Christmas stimulus, and suddenly the stories blend together. But let's be completely honest here. Even though no federal Christmas stimulus is officially on the way, the conversation itself is important. It shows that many Americans are still struggling, still waiting for relief, and still hoping for leadership that addresses the very real cost of living challenges they face every day. And that's why this video is more than just fact-checking. This is about helping you understand the full picture so you can make informed decisions and avoid falling for viral misinformation that gets shared by the hour. Now let's talk about the part everyone wants to know, the eligibility lists. The viral posts circulating online claim that there's a priority list, a confirmed list, or even a fast-track list of names eligible for the Christmas stimulus. Some posts say seniors are first. Others say parents with dependents. Others mention only workers who filed taxes in the past year. But here's where we need to pause and clarify something important. If a stimulus hasn't been officially announced, then no eligibility list exists. Any list floating around online is either fabricated or taken out of context from older programs like the stimulus checks in 2020 and 2021. Now, does that mean the idea of a new stimulus could never happen? Not necessarily. Economic conditions change. Political priorities shift, and public pressure does matter. But none of that changes the reality that today, right now, there is no confirmed federal Christmas stimulus backed by the U.S. Treasury, the IRS, or Congress. And that's exactly why staying informed is so important. Because the moment something real is announced, legitimate sources like the IRS website, official press statements, and verified government channels will publish the details instantly. However, that doesn't mean you're powerless. There are steps you can take right now to stay ahead of any future updates, especially if you want to avoid missing out on programs you may actually qualify for. First, make sure you're checking only official sources for financial assistance updates. That includes your state's Department of Revenue, the Social Security Administration for seniors or disability recipients, and the IRS for anything federal. Second, be cautious with links or sign-up portals shared on social media pretending to be government registration pages. The government does not ask citizens to sign up early or claim a list spot. If a real stimulus were announced, the IRS would use the information you've already filed in your taxes. And third, stay alert for any targeted misinformation campaigns masquerading as financial news. These often use dramatic thumbnails, countdown timers, and phrases like "final day to apply." Now let's zoom out and talk about the broader economic conversation that makes stories like this spread so fast. Whether you're a senior on a fixed income, a parent juggling expenses, a worker trying to stretch each paycheck, or someone simply trying to recover from the financial strain of inflation, the reality is clear. Many households are stretched to their limit. And when that happens, any talk of relief, even unverified, hits hard. That's why understanding what's real and what's rumor isn't just about accuracy. It's about making sure people don't build their holiday budgets around money that isn't actually coming. Still, the influence of these viral stories tells us something important. It tells us that Americans believe more relief should be discussed. It tells us people are paying attention to promises, proposals, and statements made by political figures. And it tells us that the idea of a $2,000 Christmas stimulus, even if unofficial, taps into something deeper, the hope for economic breathing room. Now let's talk directly about the claims linking this stimulus to Trump. Many of the posts online use his name because they know it triggers strong reactions, positive or negative, and therefore boosts engagement. Some posts claim Trump just announced a new stimulus. Others say he authorized one. Others reference old interviews where he talked about larger stimulus payments during the pandemic. But here's the truth. Unless a former president is currently in office, they do not have the authority to enact a stimulus. They can comment, they can propose, they can express support, but they cannot issue federal payments unless they hold office and the legislative process supports it. This is why the term official is so misleading in these viral posts. Something is only official when it comes directly from a government body with the authority to authorize payments. Anything else, interviews, comments, opinions, or even campaign-style promises, should not be confused with finalized policy. But here's where things get interesting. Because even though the claims are misleading, the discussion opens the door to a bigger question. Could the government consider another stimulus in the future, even if it's not happening now? Historically, stimulus checks have been tied to economic downturns, national emergencies, or widespread financial instability. While we aren't in a national emergency like the 2020 pandemic, inflation has placed serious pressure on millions of households. Some lawmakers are pushing for targeted relief, especially for low-income families and seniors. Others argue that additional stimulus could increase inflation further. So while the debate is ongoing, no formal proposal has moved forward in Congress. Now let's bring this back to you, the viewer. What you want to know is simple. Is there money coming? Should I expect a check? Should I adjust my plans? And the best answer, the most honest, the most helpful, is this. Do not plan your holiday budget around a rumored federal stimulus check. Do not expect a $2,000 payment unless the IRS, the Treasury, or Congress officially announces it. If something real emerges, you will hear it from credible, verified sources long before you see it on social media. But here's the good news. By watching videos like this, by staying informed, and by understanding how these viral stories spread, you put yourself in a better position than most people. You won't fall for fake signups, you won't give away your personal information, and you won't rely on money that isn't coming. And when real programs, rebates, tax credits, or cost of living adjustments are announced, you'll know exactly where to look and how to claim them. And as we close out this deep dive, remember this. Misinformation only has power when people don't have access to clear, straightforward explanations. When you understand what's true and what's not, you take that power back. If you found this breakdown helpful, informative, or eye-opening, make sure you like this video so more people can avoid being misled, especially during the holidays. Your support helps us keep creating clear, honest updates, so you always get the truth, not the hype.